Hello and welcome to Books of Blood. My name is John, and this is going to post on Friday, so that means there's going to be one more day until Halloween, and then we're going to go into November. And I told myself, because I participated in quite a number of readathons, reading challenges over the last couple of months or the last month or so, I told myself for November I am not going to participate in any readathons, reading challenges, or anything of the like. All right. And then I went over to Kasha's, I believe her channel is now called Kasha's Book Cemetery. I may be wrong about that, but I saw her recommendations for the Evilathon 2020. And yeah, that just made a complete liar out of myself, because yes, I am going to participate in the Evilathon 2020. There are 10 prompts, and this is going to run all the way through the month of November. And when I was looking at the prompts and the names of the prompts, I looked and I said, these sound like Richard Lehman, the names of Richard Lehman books. And I got to looking at them like, oh, they are the names of Richard Lehman books. All right. So that being said, let's go ahead and get underway. I've got 3 books here that are in paperback. And then I've got another 4 books that are going to be from my Kindle. I've got a total of 7 books for these 10 prompts. In other words, I'm going to double up on some prompts with the books. So that being said, let's go ahead and get underway. First up, we've got Endless Night. Read a horror book over 400 pages. And for that, I'm going to read, and I just got this in the mail the other day from Silver Shamrock Publishing. I'm going to read Midnight in the Pentagram. And this is edited by Kenneth W. Kane. And this has stories in it by Brian Keene, Graham Masterton, Al Goingback, Laurel Hightower, Catherine Cavendish, Tim Curran, James Newman, Todd Kiesling, Stephanie Ellis, Tony Tremblay, Chad Lutsky, Kenneth McKinley, Tim Meyer, and many more. So that is Midnight in the Pentagram, and that is my first prompt, which is Endless Night. Read a book over 400 pages. This one clocks in at, let me see here. What do we got? How many pages? I'm not going to count the author biography, so I'm going to go away from that. Let's see. The last story ends on page 490. So that definitely fulfills that challenge. Okay, next up. Oh, get off of there. Go away. There we go. Next up, prompt number 2, we've got Among the Missing. Read a dark horror thriller. And there's one little thing about it. Read about a friendship that's gone wrong or something like that. I don't remember exactly what it said. I don't really know about any books that are about friendships gone wrong other than the ones I've already read, and I don't want to reread on this. So I chose to do the dark horror thriller. I'm not sure if this is one about a friendship that goes wrong or not, but I'm actually going to read Richard Lehman's Darkness Tell Us. Okay. And truth be known, this one could also, well, no, it couldn't. It's not 400 pages. It started as a game, 6 college kids at a party. Then someone suggested they try the Ouija board. The board that Corey had hidden in the back of her closet and sworn never to touch again. Not after what happened last time. Not after Jake's death. They were only playing around, but the Ouija board worked all right, maybe too well. A spirit who called himself Butler began to send them messages and make demands. Butler promised them a hidden treasure if only they would follow his directions and head off to a secluded spot in the mountains. A wild, isolated spot where anything could be waiting for them, treasure or death or Butler himself. And that is prompt number 2. Darkness Tell Us. Read a book, a dark horror or dark thriller. Okay, next up, number 3 is Bite. Read a book about vampires. All right. For that one, I'm going to read Fever Dream by George R.R. Martin. I've heard so many good things about this book, and I hope they're right about it. I hope that's the truth. Okay. When struggling riverboat captain Abner Marsh receives an offer of partnership from a wealthy aristocrat, he suspects something's amiss. But when he meets the hauntingly pale, steely-eyed Joshua York, he is certain. For York doesn't care that the icy winter of 1857 has wiped out all but one of Marsh's dilapidated fleet. Nor does he care that he won't earn back his investment in a decade. York has his own reasons for wanting to traverse the powerful Mississippi, and they are to be none of Marsh's concern, no matter how bizarre, arbitrary, or capricious his actions may prove. Marsh meant to turn down York's offer. It was too full of secrets that spelled danger, but the promise of both gold and a brand new boat that could make history crushed his resolve, coupled with the terrible force of York's mesmerizing gaze. Not until the maiden voyage of his new sidewheeler, Fever Dream, would Marsh realize he had joined a mission both more sinister and perhaps more noble than his most fantastic nightmare and mankind's most impossible dream. And that is Fever Dream, George R. Martin. And of course you know him from writing the Song of Ice and Fire, which I have yet to read the second book. I need to get to it, but I got bored with it. I hate to say that. I love Game of Thrones, the TV show, but I got bored with Clash of Kings, the book. So I'm gonna have to psych myself because I've got all the books. So yeah. Let's see, number 4, Quake. And the rest of these are going to be books that are on my Kindle. And I'm going to say this, I did not write down the synopsis for these books. I will try my best to tell you a little bit about what they're about without the synopsis. And if I fail at that, I apologize, okay? So anyway, Quake. Read a book that includes a natural disaster. Now, I'm not sure what the natural disaster is in this book, except that from what I understand, basically nature is, and there's this one area where nature is basically taking over, again, or just taking over, period. And the book I'm talking about is by Jeff Vandermeer, and this is Annihilation. So that is going to be my pick for the Quake, the number 4 prompt. Read a book that includes a natural disaster. Okay. Number 5, Island. Read a book about a trip that ends bad. For that one, I'm going to read David Sodergren's The Forgotten Island. I'm actually using this in about 3, or I think there's going to be 3 prompts that I'm going to use this book for. Also, Midnight in the Pentagram, I'm going to use for 2 prompts. All right. But anyway, from what I understand, this is about this group of people that go on holiday or vacation to this island, and there are creatures, there are all kinds of weird stuff. People start missing, people start dying, just crazy shit going on, okay? So that's my pick for number 5. Read a book about a trip that ends bad, okay? Because from what I can tell, this is not going to end well for these guys. Number 6, Dreadful Tales. Read a couple of short horror stories. Again for that one, and I'm going to hold it up one more time. Again for that one, I am going to go with Midnight in the Pentagram. Because it's got about, how many stories are in this thing? There's a bunch in it. Let me see here. See if I can do the math real fast. It looks like there's about 25 stories in this book. Okay, I may be wrong. It's at least 20 to 25 stories, so I got lots of stories to read in this sucker. There you go. All right. Next up, what do we got? Flesh. Read a horror book with a creature. I'm going to read the second book in the Bain County series, which is called Bain County 2. I believe it is called Forgotten Moon or Forgotten something. I cannot remember it. I'm sorry about that. Anyway, Bain County is this place where there is the woods around it. There is a werewolf in these woods, and it is one mean, vicious werewolf. I read the first book, and I absolutely loved it, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to love the rest of the series unless it just gets stupid, and I don't think that's going to happen, okay? So that's my number 7 pick, Flesh. Read a horror book with a creature. Alrighty. Number 8, No Sanctuary. Read a book of people trapped somewhere. I'm going to go again with The Forgotten Island, again by David Sodergren. So that's my number 8 pick. Number 9, read a horror book set in a final. It's supposed to be a fun land or a party. And for that one, I'm going to read Richard Lehman's Funland, because that's where it takes place, is in a carnival, a amusement park. I don't know the plot of it. I just know that's where it takes part. And it sounds pretty awesome to me, because I kind of like these stories that take place in circuses or amusement parks, because there's just so much that can go on. All right, there we go. And finally, and again, I am using The Forgotten Island for this one. This is Blood Games. Read a book with the trope: a group of friends go to place X and start dying. And again, like I said, I'm going to read The Forgotten Island for that one too. So there you go. That is my picks for the TBR for the Evilathon 2020. All right. And basically, I'm going to make this my TBR. I guess you could say I'm going to make this my TBR for the month of November also. I will probably get through these books pretty quick, and then I'll probably pick up on some other books that I need to read as well and just add to my TBR that way. Anyway, that's what I'm going to do. So that being said, this is future me. Okay, this is Friday, John, at 2:30 in the afternoon talking to you. And that means that Halloween is one day away. It's going to be tomorrow on Saturday. Hope you guys have a spooky but safe Halloween. All right? And until next time, thank you and good night.